just, I had a brain blast, so then I had to write it down on paper so then I can get it out, right? I'm just gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. This, okay? What if your substance abuse problem is a self-rejection problem? Stop. Everybody stop. Listen. Oh my God. Hi. If you're seeing me for the first time, I'm Raven. I talk about personal transformation, healing, spirituality, addiction, sobriety, and recovery. I went from years of being kind of a hot mess with drinking and smoking and substance abuse and drugs to now kind of having it together with years of sobriety. So if you're looking for some inspiration and some real talk, then you found it. Okay. Here's the thing. Hear me out. Listen. What if your substance abuse problem is a self-rejection problem? You are rejecting parts of yourself instead of learning what makes you you, knowing it and accepting it, unpacking the shame, the guilt, the insecurity, the trauma, the fear. A lot of the times, addiction and substance abuse can be mitigated by connection and acceptance, and that's internal to an extent. People escape to substance abuse as a means to attempt to be connected with other people, but what they really need is to be connected with themselves. It is a wild negative cycle and feedback loop. The more you feel disconnected from yourself, the more you drink and smoke and do drugs to self-soothe. And then you maybe add a social element to that in an attempt to be connected with other people, okay? But then you realize how disconnected you actually are from those people, okay? Which then causes feelings of loneliness, which then makes you want to reject yourself and those feelings. So then you go to self-soothe and cope with even more substance abuse. So you're running around on this hamster wheel of insanity because you're running away from yourself. Your substance abuse problem is a self-rejection problem, and you're the only one who could fix it. I'm just saying. That was a word, okay? That was a word for somebody. Me to my old self, letters to my younger self. You are running away from yourself. Where are you gonna go? Because everywhere you go, there you are. Where are you gonna go? If you can't go to Bellanoche, where the hell can we go? I'm just saying. I am just saying, because you can smoke and drink and do drugs all you want to, but if you are rejecting yourself every single time, it's going to keep happening. If you don't accept yourself, where you've been, what you've been through, what you're going through, what you want to do, all of your trauma, all of your fear, all of your anxiety, where did it come from? What is your, this is a different topic for a different day, not to get too dark, but like, what made you want to drink and smoke and do drugs and escape in the first place? And maybe that's not something you did to yourself. Maybe somebody did that to you. Maybe it's some trauma from childhood that you didn't even realize you had, or maybe you realize it and it's revealing itself in your adult life in bits and pieces. Sometimes they're dreams and nightmares. Sometimes it's triggers you didn't even know you had. So now you got to go and escape from that trigger instead of unpacking what that is in the first place. What is that emotion? What is that thought process? What is that feeling? How do you feel it in your body? Where do you feel it in your body? What causes you to start thinking and feeling that way? Sit with that instead of trying to run away and escape from it with drinking and smoking. You got to sit with it, because if you don't, it's going to keep coming back up until you figure it out and radically accept it and heal from it and do what you need to do. Okay, Holy Spirit, activate today, because that was a word for somebody. I know it was. I know it was a word for somebody. I'm just saying. Yeah. Yeah. And just to clarify, this is not for everybody. Take what resonates for you. If it doesn't resonate for you, then, share it with somebody who you think might need to hear it. I'm just saying. Let's be honest. I don't think everyone needs to be considered. I think the stigma around addiction and substance abuse is that we think in extremes. And it's not always extreme. Sometimes it's just high functioning, and people hide it very well. People hide it so well in their social lives on the weekends when you're binge drinking and, It's just a smoke session. It's just us going out to the club. It's just us going out to the bar after work or whatever. It's just us having fun and decompressing and blah 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 blah. That is the guise of it. That's the guise of it. But then the crux of the issue is, what are you really hiding from? What are you escaping from? What are you running away from? Because sometimes it could be celebratory and social, but sometimes it's more than that. Sometimes it's just high functioning addiction. And it sucks. And I would know. I'm not judging anybody. I want to clarify that every single time I come up on here and be on these people's internets and in these ears. I need to clarify and reiterate, I am not here to be judging nobody, because I've been there, done that. I was a hot mess. I have friends who can testify to that, and I don't want them to. Like, I've made my amends. I know where I have been. I know the things I have done most of the time, because I was blackout a lot of the time and I don't remember a lot of things. But then it came back to me, and then I realized, and then I found out it was not cute. Oh, it's not cute. So my point is, what are you rejecting? How are you rejecting yourself? How are you running away from yourself? And what does that look like? Why are you doing it? And what does that look like for you? Sometimes people might think, you know, um, I just like to have fun. That could be true. And two things can be true at once. What if you are technically having your version of fun, but then that version of fun is really maladaptive coping mechanisms from the thing that you never healed from and admitted and accepted, from the thing that, you're running away from yourself. People be out here running away from themselves, trying to disguise it as just having fun, enjoying life, living life to the fullest. But you're running away from something. Not all the time. People can just, have a couple glasses of wine or a few drinks out for dinner with a group of people. I'm not talking to them people. I'm talking to the people who be like in denial. I'm talking to the folks who be out here getting fucked up. That's who I'm talking to. This applies to you, whether you're 25 or 35 or 40 or 21. I don't care. This applies to the people who be out there in the streets. And if you don't think you're out there in the streets, you're out there in your home getting blasted, out there getting fucked up. But then you go to work on the Monday and just brush. I had to recalibrate. My phone was like shutting down. I had to recalibrate. My phone really sat there and told me I didn't have enough storage. Not today, Satan. Not today. Anyway, my point is, people be out here, okay? You go out and you party on the weekend. You go drinking, you go clubbing, you go dancing. You might have a get together. You might, just, you're having fun. You're relaxing. You're taking a load off. Whatever you want to call it. The point is, people go out on the weekend, or people hang out and they do these things. They tell themselves it's social, you're having fun, which could be true, but it could be a form of maladaptive, negative, harmful coping mechanisms. And half of the people aren't even aware of that. They just normalized it. It is a part of the culture of just, hanging out, having fun, decompressing, being social. You might not go out, you might be at home, but you're still kind of, binging on substances, whether it's drinking or smoking or whatever other substances you might be into. You could be functional just enough to do all of that over the weekend and then go to work on Monday like nothing happened, because that's just your life and you've figured out how to integrate it into your life. It's been just, normalized in the fabric of your lifestyle. So if you've normalized it and you figured out how to integrate it and you're high functioning, it's just going to keep happening more often than not, until you figure out that you do have a problem until you figure out you do have a problem, and then you figure out how to unpack it. But my point is, it's self-rejection. What are you running away from? What are you trying to hide from yourself and sweep under the rug like it didn't happen? What are you avoiding? What is the shame that you have? What is the fear you have? What is the guilt that you have? What are the things that have happened to you? What does your internal dialogue look like? What does your self talk look like? How is that shaping your behavior? And if it's negative and unhealthy, and you have unhealthy behavior because of that, then what are we doing? You got to figure out. At some point, you got to figure it out. Might not necessarily be active things you're doing to yourself, but could be. Anywho, it's just something to think about. If you feel like you're on a hamster wheel of insanity and ridiculousness and you're tired of your own shit, think about it in the framework of self rejection. Are you rejecting yourself? And if so, why? And what are you rejecting? That's it. That's it. If I can do it, you can do it too. Thanks for listening.